Hello, and welcome once again to Rise and Lead on Armourgate Radio Communications. I'm your host, Adeola Gbadebo. And as always, it's an honor to take this leadership journey with you. We are right in the heart of our series, Rise and Lead, the new playbook for young leaders, where we are equipping young professionals and emerging leaders with the mindset, skills, and psychology required to rise fast, lead well, and leave a legacy. This is episode 6, and it is one of the most important conversations in the entire leadership playbook. Our topic for today is emotional intelligence, the silent superpower of great leaders. Yes, I got the question. I got what you're thinking about. Emotional intelligence. We've been talking about emotional intelligence every time. Yes, we have to. We really have to talk about emotional intelligence. It's at the heart of leadership. Leadership has a lot to do with emotional intelligence. Leading with empathy. And that's the reason why you can never be tired of hearing emotional intelligence. It's one of the most important skills that will help to enhance your leadership capabilities. All right, last week in episode 5, we talked about digital influence, leading the age of algorithms, how your digital footprints, personal brand, and your online credibility shape your leadership input in the modern world. Today we move from the digital to the deeply personal, from algorithms to the heart. We're entering the arena of emotional wisdom and relational leadership. I beg your pardon. A quote of the day is quoted severally. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That was by Theodore Roosevelt. This quote perfectly captures the essence of emotional intelligence. The truth about leadership influence is rooted not in brilliance alone, but in connection, in compassion, and in composure. IQ may get you through the door, but EQ is what will keep you in the room. IQ may win people's attention. EQ wins their trust. IQ may help you rise. EQ determines how long you stay there. Emotional intelligence is not soft. It is strategic, powerful, and essential for leadership longevity. The great leaders of today and tomorrow, in tech, in politics, in business, in education, are those who can understand people, manage themselves, and respond wisely under pressure. They can understand people, manage themselves, and respond wisely when they're under pressure. So leadership with emotional intelligence is leadership with the heart, purpose, and with humanity. People follow leaders who make them feel valued. People follow leaders who make them feel loved. People follow leaders who make them feel good. Make them feel good. So what is emotional intelligence? I'm sure we are no longer strangers to it, but we'll still define it. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize your own emotion, manage your emotions, recognize emotions in others, respond wisely and empathetically. Recognize your emotions, manage your emotions, recognize emotions in others, respond wisely and empathetically. So EQ is made up of 3 leadership pillars that we will explore. One is self-awareness, knowing your strengths, weaknesses, triggers, and tendencies. The other is empathy, understanding and valuing how others feel when you disagree. The last is emotional management, staying composed, clear, and calm under immense pressure. These three skills from the emotional backbone, they form the emotional backbone of great leaders. Self-awareness, empathy, emotional management. So let's start with self-awareness. Self-awareness, I call it the mirror of leadership. Self-awareness, the mirror of leadership. So self-awareness is simply knowing yourself. You know what motivates you, your motivations. You know your reactions. You also know your emotional patterns. You know your motivation, you know your reactions, you know your emotional pattern. So a self-aware leader ask, why do I react that way? Where is this emotion coming from? What story am I telling myself? How do others experience me? Self-awareness is the foundation of maturity. A leader who cannot understand themselves cannot understand others. How can you understand others if you can't even understand yourself? Yes, a leader who cannot understand themselves cannot understand others. So let's see some practical ways to build self-awareness. When you have a tough day, put it down. Have a journal. Journal after tough days. Journal after tough days. Ask people for feedback. When I talk to people, ask them. If you had a meeting, ask for feedback. If you if you direct a team, always ask for constant feedback. You should notice the things that trigger you. What are your triggers? What are those things that trigger your negative emotions? Identify your emotional blind spots. Pause before reacting. Pause before reacting. So, you see, emotional self-awareness makes you, puts you under control. It helps you to understand how to manage yourself. It helps you to avoid those triggers, and if they are unavoidable, you prepare your mind for them. So let's go to the next thing, which is empathy. Empathy. We call it the bridge of leadership. I said self-awareness is the mirror of leadership. As the mirror of leadership, I call self-awareness the mirror of leadership. I call empathy the bridge of leadership. Many people think that maybe someone have empathy, he's someone that, and they see it as a weak person. Empathy is not weakness. It is actually wisdom. It is the ability to listen beyond words, see situation through another's eyes, understand the emotions beneath the behavior, value people even when they struggle. Ability to hear what is not said. That's empathy. It helps you. It helps you to build loyalty. It helps you to reduce conflict. It creates psychological safety where people feel free to speak the truth. When people trust you, empathy helps you to build trust. People become loyal, you build loyalty. When people trust you, they can tell you everything. They can tell you how they feel, knowing that you probably will not reprimand them for saying that. It creates psychological safety. People feel free to say the truth. Many leaders claim to want to know the truth, but they cannot, when they are told, they become angry and they cannot stomach their emotions. I know an employee that got fired simply because he was telling the leader the truth, and the truth doesn't want to hear. But if it's an empathetic leader, he would listen. Empathetic leadership looks like, help me understand your perspective. Explain to me. I'm willing to listen. I hear you. Thank you for sharing. That's empathetic leadership. So how can I support you? What are the things that we need to do to get you, to this level? Since your performance is low, but what do you think we can do for you? How can we help you grow in your area? You see, I understand how you feel. I can see how you feel. I understand you. I always say that people don't leave jobs. People leave leaders. They leave managers. They leave people. Because those people lack empathy. They lack empathy. Empathetic leaders don't talk to their subordinates anyhow. They talk to people with respect. Empathetic leaders they understand what the person is going through, and they are willing to help the person. The third is emotional management. Emotional management, I call it the composure of leadership. The composure of leadership, where how the leader now composes themselves about emotional management. People say things to leaders and they're just there listening. Talk to them, insult them, and everything, and it's just listening. And it's people, they don't talk to people anyhow. Pressure reveals character. When you put a leader under pressure, the way that leader reacts or responds shows his true character. And there's something I talk about leadership. A good leader must have what I call the 3 C's of leadership. Has to have the competence, the capacity, and the greatness of them all, character. A leader who cannot regulate his emotions will lose opportunities. He will lose relationships. He will also lose credibility. Because emotional management, means that you can stay calm in conflict, thinking clearly under pressure, managing anger, frustration, fear, and disappointment, responding instead of reacting. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to go on a short break. When we get back, we will continue. Stay tuned.
Armourgate, founded in 2008 out of a desire to build transgenerational structures for organizations, institutions, and nations. We have worked with large businesses, international development organizations, and public sector ministries and agencies. Armourgate, our uniqueness is that we do not just work for you, we work with you. For example, we do not leave you to the task after sourcing talent that will help the new hire settle into robust leadership development programs. We are technical experts in advising and supporting institutions on strategy and leadership, artificial intelligence, strategic human resource management, public sector reform, finance, audit and tax, FAT, and strategic communications. We do all this and more out of a desire to transform nations through institutions and organizations. For further inquiries, email contact@thearmourgate.org or call +234 810 999 6666, +234 807 957 4151, and +161 0504 6026. www.thearmourgate.org. Armourgate, building to endure and transforming nations through institutions and organizations.
Welcome back to Armourgate Radio Communications, where you have been, our theme for this quarter is Rise and Lead. The series that we've been on, and we are on the 6th episode today, where we're talking about emotional, we're talking about emotional intelligence, the superpower of great leaders. And I've been defining emotional intelligence, broke it down into three major parts. The first part is self-awareness, knowing your strengths, weaknesses, your triggers, your tendencies, and knowing some of the things that trigger your emotion, and you're aware of them. And then the next I spoke about is about empathy, understanding and valuing how others feel, even when you disagree with them. And then emotional management, staying composed, clear and calm under pressure. We're talking about the emotional management parts that before we went on break. So we're back. And the last thing I was talking about was that when you can manage your emotions, then you'll be able to manage your anger, your frustration, your fear and disappointment, and that you are responding instead of reacting. You are responding instead of reacting. See, in leadership, your composure is your credibility. Your composure is your credibility. A leader with emotional discipline becomes a safe place. It's a place where people run to. It's a safe place. People can talk to you. People can confide in you. People can get advice from you. Because an emotionally intelligent leader can manage his emotions. All right, so let's go to the practical part now. How to build emotional intelligence. How to build emotional intelligence. The first thing I want to talk about is to practice the pause. Practice the pause. I think last time I spoke about emotional intelligence, I spoke about one of a teacher who taught when I was principal in the school, and a little girl called Onyinye Kainde, the teacher, very temperamental, and would, she's beautiful and all that. She's a good lady and all that, but she's highly temperamental. And then when time she's angry and she wants to talk, I always ask her to take a pause, and during that pause I ask her to read maybe the alphabets or the numbers, the way Onyinye would have read it. Onyinye happens to be a student in our own class that reads very slowly, takes her time to read, and so when she's reading the alphabet, she says, A, apple, B, balls. So I always encourage Kaine to read that way, to pause. You're using that pause to control emotion, and before she pronounces maybe C, she's coming up to talk to you and talk about the issue and disagreement, and most times she starts laughing then. And that's how I use it. So you need to practice the pause. A 2-3 second pause before responding in 10 situations works miracles. I tell you, I've practiced it. This is something that I know. It turns reaction into response. The second thing you need to do is to upgrade your listening. Listen to understand. Don't listen to reply. Listen to understand. These are some of the issues when you are talking or you are arguing with someone. You are in an argument. Always listen to understand what the person is saying. Most people are not listening to what the person is saying, and sometimes people are arguing and they are actually stating the same points, but they don't know. You need to ask clarifying questions. Reflect what you hear. Reflect on the things that you hear. That's upgrade your listening. Reflect on what you hear. Ask clarifying question. Sorry, if I hear you clearly, you said so and so and so. The person said, no, that's not what I said. I mean this and this and that. Oh, so that's clarifying things. Reflect on what you hear very well. The third thing is you need to name your emotions. You cannot manage what you cannot identify. I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. Naming diffuses emotional power. Say, I'm overwhelmed. Number 4, build your empathy muscle. Build your empathy muscle. Anything that is a muscle, you can build it. That's how you see muscle builders with big muscles, biceps and all that. So ask yourself daily, what is this person feeling right now? What might they be afraid of? What is so if you are building that muscle, you are doing it's like an exercise that is preparing you for future encounters. So you're asking yourself, what is this person feeling right now? What might they be afraid of? What do they need? Number 5, you need to take responsibility for your emotional state. Don't blame people for your reactions. You made me do it. It was what you said that made me react. No. Own your emotions. Own your energy. Own your mistakes. Six, learn to de-escalate. Lower your tone. Hello. All right. Can we all calm down? Can we calm down? Hello. Can you listen to me? You are speaking in low tone, deliberately. Relax your facial expression. Smile. Reduce defensiveness. Okay, I agree with you partly with what you are saying. But would you hear me have to also kind of share my point? Also, maybe you will come to a point of agreement too. So, reduce defensiveness. This is the art of maturity. So, by the end of today's episode, you should be equipped to understand your emotional patterns, to handle pressure with composure, lead others with empathy, make better decisions by managing your emotions, and build stronger relationships, stronger and healthier relationships. So if we practice these emotional quotient habits, you will grow into a leader people trust, a leader people want to follow. You will become a safe place for everyone. So here's a call to action for this week. Can you identify one emotional trigger that you have? Identify it. Practice pause before responding. Have one intentional, empathetic conversation. Journal one emotional experience. Repair or strengthen one important relationship. And send it to us. Let's reflect on what your response. You can send it to us at contact@thearmourgate.org. It's our contact at thearmourgate.org. That's our email. You can send to us an email. You can contact us on email. Do anything you have for us. Just contact us through that email, or you may send to our WhatsApp line +234 810 999 6666 +234 810 999 6666. So we'd love to hear from you. The greatest ability in leadership is the ability to get along with people, also by Theodore Roosevelt. So emotional intelligence is not a bonus skill, it is the foundation of leadership that lasts. Technical skills help you perform, digital skills help you compete, but emotional intelligence helps you connect, influence, and inspire. Leadership is emotional before it is functional. And those who master emotional intelligence will always rise above the crowd. So you have been listening to Rise and Lead on Armourgate Radio Communications. Join me next week on episode 7, and we should where we will explore another essential leadership dimension on your journey to influence and impact. Follow us on our LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at Armourgate, and catch up on past episodes on our YouTube channel. Simply search Armourgate on YouTube, and we take you to our YouTube channel where you can, do so many things and listen to some of the old. I usually call it a bank of knowledge, where you so many information that you need to listen to, that you need to listen to them. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of today's episode, and I want you to join me same time next week at 5 p.m. West African time and 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'd also like to know that Monday to Fridays, not only on Thursdays, Monday to Fridays, same time, you have wonderful episodes, wonderful people, who experts in different fields talking about different purpose and all that. So until next week, my name is Adeola Gbadebo. Lead fast, lead well, and leave a legacy. Thank you.